All right, so this next concept is called going backwards with square roots and cube roots, and it's pretty simple. It's kind of like Jeopardy, where I'm going to give you the answer to the problem, and you have to work backwards to then give me what the question was. So if you take a look at the first example, I'm going to give you this part. I'm going to give you 4m square root of 3, and then I'm going to take it and put it back in so that you get the square root of 48m to the second. So think about what you're doing when you're working backwards or when you're working forwards. If I were to actually simplify 48m to the second, I would break 48 up into 16 times 3, and I would find the square root of 16, which is 4. So now what's the opposite of finding the square root? Well, it's squaring it. So basically what you're doing, if it's a square root, you just square the stuff on the outside and you put it back in and multiply it by the stuff that's already inside. So for example, just taking this, the 4m on the outside, well, imagine that I just squared that 4m. Well, 4 squared is 16, right? And m squared is m squared. Well, what was already inside the radical was a 3. So inside that radical was already a 3. I'm putting back in 16m squared. So now you just multiply that together, and that's how you get 48m squared. So now for cube roots, well, if I'm going to pull something out of a cube root, well, I'm cubing it to get back in, right? So the opposite of finding the cube root is cubing something. So you take the stuff on the outside, which was 5a squared, I'm going to cube it, right? Already on the inside was a 2a. I'm cubing 5, which is 125, and I'm cubing a to the second. Reminder, it would be like having a 3 on the outside of parentheses, so you would multiply the exponents to give you a to the 6th. Now if I put that together, 2 times 25 is 250. A times a to the 6th is a to the 7th. So let's try a couple together. So the first one, pretty simple. It's a square root, so I basically just square the outside, which I get a 4. So I'm going to put 4 back in with the 3, and that's going to give you the square root of 12. The next one is a cube root, so I'm going to cube the 2. Well, 2 cubed is 8, so I'm going to put an 8 back inside the cube root symbol, and 3 times 8 is 24. So I'm going to have the cube root of 24. Now if I wanted to actually check to see if I did it right, I just go back. 24 can get broken up into 8 times 3. The cube root of 8 is 2, right? So the next one, it's a square root. So you square the 5x and you put it back in with a 3. So I'm just going to write down the 3, and I'm going to square 5, which is 25, and I'm going to square x, which is x squared. Multiply that together, you get the square root of 75x squared. So that's what the problem looked like before. The outside here is 5x, so I'm going to cube the 5x, put it back in with the 3. So I'm going to have 3 times, well, 5 cubed is 125, and x cubed is just x cubed. Multiply that together, and you're going to get, oops, I forgot my little 3, you're going to get the cube root of 375 x to the third. If you think you've got it, go ahead, stop the video, and see if you can get them. If you still need a little bit of help, stay tuned. I'll help you with these 3. If you've already done them, then just skip ahead, make sure you got the right answers. So I'm going to square the outside of 8x because it's a square root, and I've already got an x inside there, so I'm going to square this. That's going to give me 64x squared. Put it together. That gives you the square root of 64x to the third. The next one, I'm going to take this whole outside piece, because it's a cube root, and I'm going to cube all of that. So already inside the parentheses, or inside the cube root symbol, I'm going to have a 3m squared n squared. I'm going to multiply that by 2 cubed, which is 8, m to the second cubed, you just multiply the exponents, gives you m to the 6th, and then n cubed is just n cubed. And now I'm going to put all that together. So I'm going to get the cube root of 24 m to the 8th, n to the 5th, because now when you multiply, you add your exponents together. The next one is a square root, so you square the outside, and inside there you already have a 6, so I square 3, which is 9, I square a, which is a squared, and I square b to the 4th, which is b to the 8th. 6 times 9 is 54, so I end up with the square root of 54, a squared b to the 8th. Make sure you've actually tried 8, 9, and 10 before you tune back in to the video to see if they're correct. Alright, so here are the answers to 8, 9, and 10. Double check your work, make sure that you've got them. If you think that you made a mistake or I made a mistake, make sure you say something. And this is the very end of the video, so you can start your homework. Good luck.